Hello there, welcome to the garden. I just planted a bunch of things on either side of the arch trellis, including peas, which are one of the squirrels' favorite things to eat. They are big fans of the peas. So I came out with more chicken wire. My whole garden now is getting kind of coated in chicken wire, which, you know, I think it's gonna look better and better as things start to grow up through the chicken wire. So I wanted to give you an update on how that's looking and how the lettuce is doing growing through the chicken wire. And I also wanted to give you another update on another kind of piece of the puzzle that you need to add if you are doing the chicken wire covers like me. I have learned this week that I needed to order some landscape staples. So if you know the squirrels in my garden, as I said in the last video where I was setting some of this stuff up, they are just so like bold and they go after everything. They will get under anything, they will get in and around things, they will jump into the container pond, like they do not care. And they figured out how to flip up these little chicken wire discs within 24 hours of me putting them out. I knew I needed landscape staples, but I didn't order them, and I figured, oh, you know, it'll be okay for just a few hours. No. So I went ahead, what I did as a temporary solution was just put in some bamboo stakes, just something to hold this so you couldn't move it. And that seemed to work. But now we've got the landscape staples. And so I just wanted to show you, like, we're just gonna put them in like this. These are green onions that are coming up in here. And that's just gonna hold it down. I did the same thing. This is a low pot, so I can't push them all the way in, but I think it still works. It even works in these bigger ones where it goes over the side. And then you can see this is like the vision. Gotta love arugula. It's such a fast grower. The plants are gonna grow up through the chicken wire. And so eventually it's not gonna be quite as big an issue. Like, it's gonna be hard for a squirrel to come in and move the chicken wire. But until they're fully grown up through it, I think just putting some of these landscape staples in like this is just gonna make it that much more secure. Over here in the raised bed, I just put down like some of my trowel and stuff because I just wanted to hold this down, because they will just find a way to come in and get under it. So we're just gonna use the landscape staple and just really press it down. Hopefully this little corner where the perennial, hopefully they don't figure out how to get under that. But I really am gonna come in and try to make sure I lay all of this flat. I just cleared out the tomatoes and now I'm finding little rogue tomatoes everywhere. I'm just gonna hold it down flat. You can see the arugula is already coming up. I love arugula. It's so, oh my gosh, if you just want kind of like instant reward, plant some arugula. Look at that, it's been like 2 days and it's already sprouting. So I just wanted to make sure that if you are following along with me and doing this, that you find something to secure your chicken wire so you don't end up with the squirrels digging up the containers. It is just so frustrating to find things have been dug up. So I'm really excited that this will hold it down, and it's pretty subtle. You can't even really see it. It holds it nice and close to the soil so that the plants can grow through, which is also an important part of it. And I'm gonna do a few in the middle too, just to really hold it down and make sure that I'm not giving any space. No squirrels can find their way through that chicken wire. I might even need one more right here where it's kind of pushing up, because I feel like they'll try to get in around the sides. I am learning more and more not to underestimate them. I just figured out that in these containers, putting these staples in on an angle works. So if you have like a low, this container is low, so I can't just put the straight down because it'll hit the bottom, but you can put it in at an angle and then it'll help hold it down. I will keep you updated. I've got the whole thing, everything tacked down now. I have one of these long cloches that I still need to figure out what to do with. This one I did tack down as well. And I put a staple here to hopefully hold it together so that the squirrels can't break it apart. But I just feel like this is also good because it's really nice and flat to the surface of the raised beds. And so I just have to figure out what I want to do with my one last little cloche here. But this is much better. God, now I can remove all the things. I just threw everything on top of it to weigh it down. But now I can remove that And I think, hopefully we figured out a way to keep them out of the garden. So I'm gonna move these. Yep, just put it in on an angle. There we go. And that will hold it down. Got an extra one, good measure. Why not? You can never be too careful with these squirrels. The last thing I'm gonna do out here today is sweep up. I wanted to show you how much damage the squirrels do. So if you're wondering why I am just covering my garden with all this chicken wire, this is why. Look at how deep, and I mean all the way through the mulch, there was a plant there. They just get in and dig like crazy. They are so wildly destructive. They overturn the whole garden, all of the like mulched areas. It's pretty amazing, and they will do that kind of destruction to my raised bed. So that's why I'm taking the precautions that I am this year to try to prevent some of this damage. I don't worry about it too much in the in-ground areas because the perennials will usually do fine. They'll be okay. And then we'll plant in, more things in the spring. But the squirrel pressure does. So it's worse right now. Obviously, they're preparing for winter. So they're digging lots of holes and I guess storing all of their acorns and winter stashes of seeds and everything. So this is probably the worst time of year for it. And then midwinter, when it starts to get really cold, I think they start to get hungry and they're digging up those stores of food. It gets kind of bad. But then for the summer, honestly, they don't come in here. I don't really deal with them digging up anything in the summer. And actually, they didn't really even eat that many of my tomatoes. I don't think that they really bugged those too much, but they just come out starting around now and they start just digging up the garden and it turns into a huge mess. So I'm really, really hopeful. I'm just crossing my fingers, hoping that some of this chicken wire will work. I think it has, because the chicken wire that they haven't been able to move so far, they have not gotten under. That closure that I was just saying, I don't know if I know where I want to put it. I may put it in this in-ground area if I decide to plant something over here. Or I can always plant in this area where I'm not going to chicken wire the whole in-ground area. I mean, that's too intense, even for me. But I could get bigger started plants. Like if I got some big cabbages or some big kales, I could put those in. And usually the squirrels will not destroy like a big plant. And even if they uproot it, usually I can replant it. Sometimes not. Sometimes they will hurt them. But for the most part, typically if I get like a big plant, they can't hurt it that badly. Like these perennials are all fine. They're not going to get destroyed. Now, any seedlings would be just completely in trouble right away. So that wouldn't be good. So I'm going to clean up the mess made by the squirrels. And then I think after doing that, and I just did the tomato arch pull down, which you would have seen in the last video, I think I'm done for this morning. That was a lot of good garden chores. I'm pretty much done with my fall seed sowing, except for a few containers. I have a few containers more that I want to get sown this week. And then we'll start buying violas and pansies and kales and cabbages that are already started and get those planted in. So that'll be fun too. But now let's clean up the squirrels' mess until the next time they dig in the garden. All right, well, that is the garden, hopefully protected from the squirrels for now. As I said, I will keep you posted and let you know if I make any changes or do anything else with that setup. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.